Hey guys, what is going on? This is Wrestlelamia, back with another episode. Fastlane is just a day away, so what last-minute thrills and surprises should the WWE Universe expect? Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the 6th October edition of the Blue Brand, as well as all the wildest wrestling news, stories, and rumors you need to know, including plenty of rumors on CM Punk's possible return to WWE, is Undertaker appearing on NXT, rumors of Riddle versus Jake Paul, and more. As always, we won't recap the matches, but look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. The good. LA Knight starts things off strongly. Tonight's Smackdown started off strong with LA Knight firing up the fans with another lively promo and setting the stage for a main event match against Jimmy Uso. Knight is on fire right now, and it's refreshing to see the WWE utilizing a fan favorite. Judgment Day versus the Bloodline tease. The Judgment Day and the Bloodline are going to throw down someday, but tonight wasn't that night. Instead, the two groups worked together to take out a mutual enemy, well, at least they tried to. Rhea Ripley's backstage interaction with Paul Heyman was the best part of this storyline, as the Eradicator told Heyman to acknowledge her. The storyline, including Ripley's interaction with Paul, isn't over by a long shot. A dazzling debut for Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee made an exciting entry onto the main roster tonight, defeating Austin Theory in an action-packed match that showed why WWE put him on the fast track from NXT to the main roster. The only downside to Dragon's victory was the WWE having him win in a roll-up, as anticlimactic of a finish as you can get. Is Cameron Grimes finally doing something? Wait, was that Cameron Grimes doing something besides counting the lights? Why, yes it was, as Grimes showed up to lend Dragon Lee an assist when Grayson Waller made things difficult for Dragon Lee during his match against Austin Theory. A series featuring Grimes and Lee teaming up against Waller and Theory sounds good to us. A big build for Fastlane. WWE's recent record with go-home shows has been downright disappointing, but not tonight, as the WWE amped the excitement, adding a mystery partner to the LWO versus Lashley and Street Profits match, giving fans a tease of what they'll see when Charlotte, Asuka, and Io Sky step into the ring, and adding to the intrigue between Jay, Cody, and the Bloodline by hinting the Judgment Day could get involved. A grand finale. Tonight's match between LA Knight and Jimmy Uso was another classic case of giving fans the sizzle, not the steak. That is, giving fans an idea of what to expect at Fastlane without giving them any satisfaction. For that, they'll have to tune in to the PLE. Knight vs. Uso ended with a non-finish, but that was exactly what WWE wanted, as it allowed them to have LA Knight, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso show the Judgment Day and the Bloodline what happens when they run into four top stars. The bad. Damage Control job to Asuka and Charlotte yet again. How many times does Damage Control have to count the lights for Asuka and Charlotte? Whether it's singles matches or tag bouts, Bayley seems to have gone from solid main eventer to major mid-card act. The downright ugly. Nothing ugly tonight. Once again, there weren't many matches, but WWE made up for this by having strong segments in between that kept fans on the edge of their seats. Is CM Punk returning to WWE? Topping today's news are the many rumors surrounding CM Punk's possible return to WWE. As reported yesterday, some fans and pundits feel Punk's return will be happening soon, perhaps as early as November's Survivor Series, which happens to be in Punk's hometown of Chicago. Let's look at the hints some fans feel signal Punk's pending arrival, as well as reports suggesting it may not happen. Is WWE teasing Punk's return? One of the things that has fans talking are some recent comments made on air that fans believe are hints that Punk is coming back. Michael Cole's comments on Raw about Seth Rollins playing fans like a puppet was seen by some as a reference to Punk's similar speech from many years back. Something similar happened on Smackdown when Corey Graves uttered one of Punk's famous phrases, "The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was making the world forget that he existed." However, Fightful Select is reporting fans shouldn't invest too much into these statements. When we asked about the teases that pick up steam on social media, we were told adamantly that those were not meant to tease a CM Punk return, though it's not impossible that they could be played off of in the future to generate buzz. We spoke to various people in the know regarding future plans, and almost nobody has been clued in on a potential Punk return. If Punk is returning, it's doubtful WWE is making this common news, and anyone who does know has undoubtedly been told to keep things quiet. A zero-tolerance policy. One question concerning a Punk comeback is how much WWE management and/or WWE superstars will tolerate any of Punk's well-known antics. A recent Fightful Select report stated, "One top star said that Punk knows he wouldn't be able to pull any of his shit here. There's nobody here he could jump without getting his ass handed to him. When we brought up that WWE would likely want to talk to top talent about Punk coming in, that same person said the talk really needed to be with Punk. While Punk has his fans and supporters in the locker room, he also has his fair share of enemies, some of whom could block his return to the company. How Punk should handle these individuals is our next topic. Can Punk make peace? CM Punk has spoken out against some big names in WWE, including WWE Kingpin Vince McMahon and Triple H. That's only the beginning, as he's also talked trash with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Any one of those names could block Punk's path back. Fightful Select explored this situation recently, commenting that Punk would have to make peace with several superstars he's insulted. The Patreon site also suggested that it's believed that the best approach for Punk is to reach out to Vince McMahon and see whether their differences can be resolved. Assets versus liabilities. Is Punk worth bringing back? Fightful Select asked around and reports, another top talent said that they believe Triple H wouldn't risk the negativity that Punk would bring, but then did recall that it wouldn't be the first time that he's brought someone in with baggage since being in control. The general feeling we got was that Punk would need to make good with a number of influential talent in general. Like any situation in wrestling, the question comes down to one of assets and liabilities. Does Punk bring enough to the table that WWE is willing to excuse his reputation? Keep in mind, whether or not that reputation is deserved depends on whom you ask. Wrestlelamia wouldn't be surprised to see the WWE sign Punk to a limited deal, knowing that his return would spark initial interest and that it could book some high-profile and presumably financially lucrative matches, presumably keeping Punk around until WrestleMania. Do you think Punk will return to WWE? Is Matt Riddle going to fight Jake Paul? What's next for Matt Riddle following his WWE release? According to this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter, Riddle could face Jake Paul in the ring. The Observer noted that the talks are in the very preliminary stages. Ultimately, it's a call that'll be made on Paul's side. If it's boxing rules, it's likely an easy, safe fight for Paul, and Riddle would be doing it for a payday. If it's MMA rules, it's intriguing because Paul would be younger and has been fighting, while Riddle hasn't, and the size isn't an issue like it was with Paul boxing guys like Nate Diaz and Tyron Woodley. But Riddle has kept up his jiu-jitsu training throughout his WWE career. Would you like to see this fight? Do you think it'll happen? Spoiler, who is Rey Mysterio's mystery partner? A potential spoiler on Rey Mysterio's mystery partner for Fastlane, then it's time to skedaddle if you want to be surprised tonight. Poor Rey Mysterio. Not only did the Latino World Order star drop his match on Smackdown against Bobby Lashley, but now he's looking for a replacement partner for the LWO's Fastlane fight against Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. This is due to the LWO's Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde getting laid out on SmackDown. Thankfully, it appears Ray has a partner in mind, and according to PW Insider, it's none other than Carlito. You may recall talk of Carlito returning to WWE ever since his well-received appearance at Backlash in Puerto Rico. However, WWE didn't debut Carlito, leading to questions about whether he was actually joining the company. Now it appears everything is set up for his long-awaited return, and he'll join forces with Papa Ray and Santos. LA Knight shocked by success. Well, LA Knight fans are thrilled to see him in WWE's main event after an uncertain start on the main roster. Knight himself still can't believe the point he's at. During a chat with CBS Sports, Knight commented, "In a weird way, I got no business being here. Looking just a year ago at where I was and what I was doing, what a hell of a turnaround. It's damn near unheard of." Knight described his so-called overnight success. "In a weird way, it's like having overnight success, but it was also 20 years in the making to get to an overnight success. It's such a juxtaposition in a strange way. I still have a habit of looking over my shoulder and waiting for somebody to pull the rug out from under me." While LA Knight sounds anxious, his work in the ring and on the stick shows just how dedicated he is to making the most of his opportunity. Kyle O'Reilly recovering from post-surgery complication. Wondering where Kyle O'Reilly's been? The former NXT superstar who jumped to AEW had neck fusion surgery only to suffer complications. O'Reilly revealed on Instagram that he suffered paralysis in his right arm. Thankfully, he's recovering thanks to using what's called a newbie device, which provides electric stimulation to the nervous system. While his wrestling future is a long way off, he's working hard to make a return possible. Is The Undertaker appearing on NXT? The WWE Universe is in for a star-studded episode of NXT on 10th October as the show competes against AEW Dynamite. There are already many big names booked to appear, including John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Asuka, and possibly The Undertaker. The Undertaker is scheduled to be in Orlando, but now it appears he may make a rare TV appearance. According to Ringside News' Felix Upton, SmackDown aired a hype video for NXT, promoting the various matches and appearances. Then before the commercial closed, they played a single gong noise. WWE Faction Reuniting. Last but not least, a former WWE faction is reuniting, only it won't be in the WWE. According to Wrestling News, Andrew Ravens, former NXT faction Sanity, Eric Young, Big Damo FKA Killian Dane, and Axel Tischer, formerly known as Alexander Wolf, are getting back together. The faction will be reuniting at Progress Wrestling's Vendetta show from the Electric Ballroom in London on November 26th. Unfortunately, the group's fourth member, Nikki Cross, is still signed with the WWE, so she won't be there. Well guys, there you have it, Wrestlemania's look at the 6th October edition of Smackdown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know in wrestling. Be sure to leave your comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.